Pepsi leadership thought beyond drinks. Short-term wins were not enough. They wanted scale and stability. The first major move happened quietly. Pepsi began acquiring snack companies. This was not accidental growth. It was calculated diversification. Lay's entered the Pepsi portfolio, followed by Doritos and Cheetos. These brands solved a core problem. People snack multiple times daily. This revealed a powerful insight. High frequency beats emotional loyalty. Snacks require no consumption rituals. Soda depends on specific occasions. Supermarkets immediately favored Pepsi. One supplier, multiple categories available, drinks and snacks bundled together. Shelf space negotiations shifted power. Visibility increased across store aisles. More visibility meant higher sales. Retail dominance compounds over time. Coca-Cola faced a structural disadvantage. Beverages alone limit retail leverage. Shelf negotiations became increasingly difficult. Here is a shocking business fact. Pepsi earns more from snacks than from soft drinks today. Most consumers never realized this. Sports drinks changed another market. Gatorade dominated athletic hydration culture. Science-backed performance messaging. Schools, gyms, stadiums adopted it. Coca-Cola lacked direct competition here. Pepsi secured first-mover advantage. This strengthened category leadership. Health awareness shifted consumer behavior. Sugar faced growing public criticism. Governments introduced soda taxes. Consumption patterns began changing. Coca-Cola felt direct pressure. Core products faced consumption decline. Pepsi felt pressure too, but snacks absorbed the impact. Here is a light reset moment. Chips rarely face public guilt. Soda always carries blame. One feels harmless psychologically. Marketing strategy evolved again. Pepsi leaned into lifestyle branding, not just refreshment messaging. Youth culture drove relevance. Coca-Cola protected emotional legacy. Family happiness nostalgia themes. This preserved loyalty but limited speed. Digital platforms changed attention cycles. Younger audiences demanded constant relevance. Pepsi adapted faster online. Another surprising strategic fact, Pepsi exits some soda markets intentionally. Revenue streams remain stable. Coca-Cola cannot easily exit. Supply chain synergy improved margins. Food and beverage logistics combined. Scale advantages increased efficiency. This is where numbers diverge. Coca-Cola sells more drinks. Pepsi sells more categories overall. Revenue accumulation favors diversification. Investors prefer predictable cash flow. Pepsi appears less risky long-term. Do you know why Pepsi earns more, even when Coca-Cola sells more? This contradiction shocks most audiences. The answer is strategic and psychological. This story goes beyond soft drinks. This is about power and survival. The journey starts in 19th century America. Pharmacies sold liquid health tonics. People trusted medicine-based drinks. Branding was almost non-existent then. Coca-Cola entered the market first. Created by a local pharmacist, energy and relief were promised. Taste was not the main focus. Early success built extreme confidence. Distribution expanded rapidly nationwide. Coca-Cola became publicly familiar. Trust formed through repetition everywhere. Brand loyalty developed subconsciously. Pepsi entered later with ambition, but competition was already strong. Early Pepsi struggled to survive. Bankruptcy hit the company twice. Most brands disappear at this stage. Pepsi somehow refused to die. This is the first shocking fact. Pepsi nearly vanished permanently. But timing changed everything. Then came the Great Depression. Money became extremely limited. Consumers demanded maximum value. Pepsi made a bold move: double quantity at same price. Value immediately attracted families. Switching became an easy decision. Coca-Cola refused to reduce prices, confidence, or dangerous rigidity. Historians still debate this choice. This moment ignited true rivalry. Taste was no longer central. Perception control became everything. Coca-Cola sold tradition and comfort, heritage, nostalgia, and familiarity. Pepsi sold youth and rebellion. Future versus past positioning. After World War expansion began, American soldiers drank Coca-Cola. The brand symbolized national identity. Global exposure increased dramatically. Coca-Cola gained cultural power. Pepsi observed silently and learned direct competition would fail. Differentiation became the strategy. Television changed attention economics. Pepsi embraced pop culture early. Celebrities entered Pepsi advertisements. Music, sports, entertainment combined. Younger audiences felt represented. Coca-Cola repeated classic storytelling. Repetition builds trust, but slows change. Here is a quick reset moment. People think taste drives loyalty, but memory controls preference. Blind taste tests prove this. People preferred Pepsi blindly, but bought Coca-Cola publicly. This contradiction shocked executives deeply. The Pepsi challenge amplified fear. Media pressure increased dramatically. Coca-Cola leadership panicked internally. A rushed innovation followed quickly. New Coke launched secretly worldwide. Formula changed without emotional testing. Public backlash exploded instantly. Consumers felt betrayed deeply. Sales dropped unexpectedly fast. This taught a brutal lesson. Brands live inside emotions. Logic always follows feelings. Pepsi understood this psychology earlier. Now focus on the transition. Winning requires expansion beyond soda. Single category limits growth potential. This is where Pepsi evolved. Pepsi moved beyond beverages. Snacks entered the business quietly. Chips, cereals, sports drinks added. Diversification reduced dependency risk. People do not drink soda daily, but snacks are bought daily. Frequency changed the revenue equation. Cash flow became predictable. Coca-Cola stayed beverage-focused. Focus creates efficiency and strength, but also increases vulnerability. Pepsi leadership encouraged experimentation. Failure was treated as feedback. Speed mattered more than perfection. This mindset created adaptability. Markets change faster than brands. Pepsi learned to move quickly. Coca-Cola leadership prioritized stability. Protecting legacy remained central. Consistency preserved emotional trust. But stability can limit evolution, especially during rapid cultural shifts. Digital generations demand relevance instantly. Pepsi positioned itself as adaptive, youthful, experimental, and flexible. Marketing tone evolved continuously. Here is a subtle shock fact. Pepsi refreshes branding more often. Visual identity changes reflect adaptability. Coca-Cola rarely changes identity. Consistency reinforces heritage strength, but limits experimentation freedom. Global markets demand localization. Pepsi adapts flavors regionally. Coca-Cola standardizes aggressively. This flexibility improved international growth. Local relevance increased acceptance. Cultural alignment drives consumption. Another important strategic advantage. Pepsi owns more distribution control. Food logistics strengthened beverage reach. Cost efficiency improved profit stability. Shared supply chains reduced risk. Fear shaped every strategic move. Fear of irrelevance drives innovation. Fear of loss drives expansion. Excitement powered brand storytelling, music, sports, and youth energy, created emotional momentum globally. Here is a brief humor reset. Snacks rarely spark brand wars, but soda always does. The final comparison becomes clear. Coca-Cola dominates beverage identity. Pepsi dominates total business volume. Coca-Cola sells more bottles. Pepsi earns across categories. Diversification multiplies revenue streams. This explains the central paradox. Higher sales do not equal higher business. Structure determines outcome. The rivalry continues today, but the battlefield has changed. Ecosystems matter more than products. The future favors adaptability, not just emotional dominance. This story leaves one lesson. Brands must evolve or fade. If this breakdown expanded perspective, support deep business storytelling here. Subscribe for future strategic insights.